A Life in Tax, the Rent Relief Reality. It was one of those lively mornings in the tax community group when Uche, an HR manager with 10 years experience, dropped a question that caught everyone's attention. Good day, everyone, he began. I have a question about this new pay calculation starting next year. There's this rent relief part that says 500,000 naira or 20% of rent, whichever is less. Does it mean staff have to submit their rent receipts every year? And what happens if a married couple shares rent but only one name is on the receipt? Or what if someone lives with family? The group went silent for a few seconds, the kind of silence that meant this one needs proper unpacking. Then I smiled and replied, Uche, this is exactly why tax professionals must understand the spirit behind the law, not just the letter of it. The principle behind rent relief. The rent relief, as introduced under the Nigeria Tax Act 2025, is part of the government's effort to make personal taxation more humane. Recognizing that housing is a basic necessity, it allows employees to deduct 500,000 naira or 20% of rent paid, whichever is less, before calculating payee. Simple on paper, but layered in practice. The evidence requirement. I told Uche, yes, every employee claiming rent relief will now need to prove actual rent payment, either through receipts, tenancy agreements, or transfer evidence. Why? Because you can't claim what you didn't pay. The relief is personal, meant only for those who truly bear the housing cost. Married couples and shared rent. Then came the tricky part. What about couples? Uche pressed. I explained, if the rent receipt is in your husband's name, but you both share the cost, technically only the name on the receipt qualifies, unless both can prove contribution with documentation. It's not about fairness alone, it's about proof and accountability. Tax is evidence-driven, not emotion-driven. Living with family or in free housing. As for employees living with family or in employer-provided accommodation, that's where I told the group, no rent, no relief. If you live rent-free in your parents' house or company quarters, you simply can't claim the deduction. It's not punishment, it's logic. Reliefs are based on actual expenses, not assumed ones. The moral of the story. By the end of the conversation, Uche typed, wow, this makes sense now. We will start asking staff for proof of rent next year. This reform is deeper than I thought. The rent relief isn't just a line in the pay table. It's a reminder that tax justice begins with transparency and evidence. And I responded, exactly. The 2025 tax reform is not just changing calculations, it's changing behavior. It's pushing us toward a system built on truth, documentation, and fairness. Takeaway: in tax, every number tells a story, and behind every relief lies a principle. Because in A Life in Tax, the goal isn't just to know the law, it's to live it with understanding, integrity, and empathy. An important update from Olatunji Abdulrazak, CNA, ACTI, ACIRB, founder, CEO, Taxmobile Online.